Welcome to Leo for Leos. This is a channel featuring intuitive tarot readings for the astrological sign of Leos, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'm a Leo as well, so that's why the channel is called Leo for Leos. Cross-watchers and fellow readers are welcome. However, I do want to give you a heads up that I read the cards as I see them and not always the way it's traditionally done. So let's get started. I am using the Smith-Waite Tarot deck, the Centennial Edition. I have already done the August reading and a special reading for Leo season, but I wanted to do a bonus for August because I'm getting the feeling that a lot of Leos need this bonus reading. So this is a bonus reading for August 2020. Bonus reading for August 2020. We would like to know about solutions and ways that Leos can shine. Oh. I also want to let you guys know that the readings do start off quite dark and then they end up being quite hopeful in the end, because we're getting a story. A story is being unfolded and told to us. So sometimes in the beginning of a story you're presented with the struggle, and then you get the solutions and the answers and the hope. So if things get a little too heavy for you, just hold out until the end, because it gets better. It gets better. It always gets better. Okay. Let's see. August 2020 for my Leos, my beautiful Leos. I love you guys. Sending you guys so much love. Birthday hugs for you guys. Happy birthday to all my Leos. I love you guys. What solutions do Leos need for the month of August, or for the rest of August? What do they need? Ooh. What are the solutions for Leos for the month of August? Oh, that just came out. Oh, and it came out upside down too. I don't get upside down cards very often, so that needed to happen. Okay. Okay, show me the solutions, please. Please show me the solutions. Leos need solutions. Leos need solutions. You know, I think this card was supposed to be, I believe this card is supposed to be the right side up. And I know you guys, I know there's some people that would argue with that. So I'll present both. When I get to this one, I will present both cases for it being side up and for upside down. But My gut is telling me that it was supposed to be right side up. We just need one more card, a solution to help Leos figure out the month of August. So September could be magnificent. Come on. Yep. We want September to be at least a step in the right direction of being awesome. Right? We want it to get better. Show us how Leos can make things better. How can Leos make things better? Just need one card. Okay, I'm going to pick one card right now. Ooh, no need. All right. Okay. All right, let's get started here with this. I think I have enough information to figure out what's going on. Okay. So what we have here is the beginning of August, or at least by the time you watch this video, there is a sense of like loss, and it may be just talking about the events that has happened since January, instead of just being like just the month of July or just the month of August. It could be talking about a general feeling of the entire events since January, just feeling like we had so much hope, we had so much that we were working on, there was so many things that were going to happen for us this year, and it didn't happen. And that's kind of feeling like you were robbed a little of what could have been. Ooh. And then I tell you, this is true. Maybe I manifested it, but it's true. Like, look at this. It's starting off already with like depressing cards. But guys, hold on. I'm telling you that this story is going to turn around, because what happens is that the cards are trying to affirm reality, right? They're not trying to not tell you what's happening in the real world. Times are tough. It is rough out there. It's just affirming like the story that is going on in reality. Even if things are going really well for you, you can see the things that other people are going through, and that has a profound effect on you. Okay, so this is about feeling helpless and not being able to help the people that is around you, not being able to help yourself quite fully, and feeling trapped. Okay, so a lot of people are feeling this right now. And we know it's not just Leos, there's a lot of people in this position. I mean, there is always suffering in the world, but it's especially great at this point, okay? Page of Wands. So it feels like there's an announcement coming, or you may be in such a position where you may be, we talked about in the last reading about talking to friends, maybe even asking for help, reaching out to other people. You may be doing this. You may be calling people. You may be talking to other people. You may be, I wouldn't say soliciting, but it's kind of like presenting a case for something. So that way people can either give money or time to a cause that you're working on, whether it's to help you as an individual or to help a particular project that you're working on, or to help others. But you're talking to other people about this this matter. And it seems like you're also sharing your feelings. You're sharing your story, and that is it's something that you're guided to do. You're guided to do this. You're guided to. You feel like it's time to share the stories that you've been keeping in for so long. Your true feelings, like it's you're trying to figure out like also who to tell those stories to, and you're not just going to tell everybody, but you're going to be very careful about how you set things up to tell the story, that you let everyone know all the playing parts in your story, and you're going to choose the right moment that you feel right about, like, okay, now it's time to share. Now it's time to say, to unload maybe a secret. And the reason why I say a secret, there's the moon here, because there's moon is always talking about secrets and things we don't know. And so there's or that's not revealed to everybody. So things that aren't revealed or in plain sight. And so there may be some revelations to kind of to tell people, or even educate people. They may not know about certain things, and you may be the one to help to tell the story. And for whatever reason, and this is continuing exactly last month's reading, because there is a collective of pulling people together to build something. So there's quite a few of you that are trying to help others by bringing in a group of people, or putting together a group of people to help other people. It's quite interesting, and it may even be for a more selfish thing, where it's like you have a business and now you have two other people that are helping you with the business, which they may be giving you advice, or they may be mentoring you in some way, or giving you encouragement in some way in real life. It's not like following your favorite celebrity who's, motivating, like The Rock or like Gary Vaynerchuk or someone like that. It's like actually someone in your real life who has taken, you have talked to, you've reached out to that person and asked for help, and they are giving you that help. And it's very interesting, because when we live in a world, sometimes it could feel like there's no one will help you. But if you share your story, you may find that there may be someone who can help. You may be sharing your story with someone who knows another person who can help. So never underestimate that, the power of sharing your story. So yeah, this is very interesting. Ooh, okay. Now this is talking about walking away from an emotional feeling and possibly going to some place else. And that could also be the change of like keeping things to yourself, being guarded, having secrets, keeping keeping things all to yourself and then sharing them with someone else. Like, coming up with a new method that actually changes your world. It's like, I would say, a new mindset, a whole new mindset. So you're letting go of these emotional holds that are keeping you from moving in the direction that you want to move. You're walking away from that. Okay, let's move on to the Hanged Man, which is really talking about being in a kind of uncomfortable position and coming up with like ideas, or maybe even like secluding yourself away from the world and being kind of contemplative. So there may be a few things that you're thinking about, and you may need to take some time to think about to make changes. Change is the big word here. The effort is to make changes. These are not changes that are not just physical, but actually mental changes. Changes that are about strategizing. There must be some sort of mental change in order for the rest of your world to change. Even if it is perspective, seeing things in a different light. That is the only way to get to this part. So this is a very pivotal moment of clarity. The halo around the head of the hangman is really talking about this clarity that you're trying to achieve. Then we get Judgment Day. It's time to look at the things that you're doing and say, hey, that's not exactly the kind of activity that a person who is successfully trying to get ahead actually does. And it may be something simple like, I want better health, so I'm going to see about trying to stop smoking. I could probably save a few dollars, and it might be something that could help me in the long run. I'm just throwing that out there. It could be like, I'm thinking physical. I'm thinking health for some reason. I'm getting the picture of changing health patterns, and that also changes like the way you present yourself in the world, because then people can see that you love yourself, and then their reaction to you isn't like, oh, here comes this walking disaster that that doesn't care anything about themselves and their body and what they do to their body, so I can't expect that person to care about me. These are things that are running through people's mind, and they might be thinking this, but it's kind of nice to take control over something as simple as your health, because if when it's out of control, that's when a lot of people have been in the position of when your health is out of control, with outside of your ability to actually do anything to help your health. But if there is a chance that you can change your health, like maybe certain eating habits, maybe jogging, maybe certain exercises, these are things you're looking at. You're just looking at. And on another tone, this could also be for relationships, and how maybe the things that you're doing isn't always the best way to handle a problem, or to take care of an issue. Maybe other solutions need to be employed, and you're looking at that. You're looking at your part that you play in your life and how to increase your chances of success. That is a master stroke, if I wouldn't say so myself. That is a master stroke. Taking control of your own life, not leaving it up to they, right? Not leaving it up to other people, And we talked about this in July. We talked about this in August, about taking more control over your destiny and your life. And that's what the Judgment card is. It's like, all right, we're looking at every detail of our life and seeing where we can actually do something to be more productive, more instrumental, more powerful, right? It's about gaining more personal power, especially in this time where there's so much uncertainty. Leos want to know that they have something. There's that security that fixed signs really need. We need to know, like, okay, is this gonna be or not? Right? We don't like to be left up in the air. It's not secure for us, and that's when we get on the defensive and start, biting people and start like roaring at people. And maybe it's not always their fault, but we get easily triggered because we're not in a comfortable place of being able to know that our future is secure. Okay, this leads to this card, which is a decision. It's like the biggest decision. I mean, we've got the King of Swords, bigger, larger than life. It's huge, huge, huge decision. That is about making changes finally making those changes that you've always wanted to make and always thought, well, no, I'm going to wait until some other time, or I need, millions of dollars in order to do this thing. You're like, what do I need that for? I'm going to start right now, one little step at a time. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I love it for Leos because, when we decide something, there can be nothing to stop us. And that's, I love seeing the King of Swords right in the middle of like Judgment Day for ourselves. We're making the decision. We're not allowing someone else to make a decision on our lives for us. Beautiful. Then we talk about this, which is a period of time in which you are going to take some time out for yourself. And it could be some like self-loving, or it could just be like a day where you're not, or maybe a couple days, maybe a week, where you're kind of like not really talking to everybody about your plans, but working on them and kind of getting a gauge for like, okay, is this going to work? You're quietly making the changes, though. These are big changes, but you're doing it quietly, okay? You're doing it quietly and trying to see if any of the changes lead up to like feeling better, right? And some of the changes that you make is going to take some time for you to actually feel the benefits, because you have to allow your body or your mind or nature to happen, right? You have to allow the nature of things to happen when it happens. But making this decision means you've put the seeds in the soil, and now you have to wait for the sun, the rain, and the passage of time before you see any green and the growth from your efforts. All right, so this is going to be challenging because a lot of times decisions aren't easy to make, right? So you may be struggling with your decision. It's a big decision, so you'll be struggling with that decision. Okay, you may be feeling defeated at some times. Like maybe your intention was, okay, I'm gonna try to lose a pound a week, and you find that, oh, the next week you gain 2 pounds. And this could really mess with Leo's ability to continue to do what they're doing, because we all need a reward for doing hard work, right? or else we're going to be demotivated to continue to move forward. And I'm going to tell you right now that these challenges are put in place to test you. Okay, the universe is saying, okay, you want to do X, Y, and Z? Okay, prove it. Okay, prove it, Leo. And this is the time when you're going to need to prove it to the universe that this is truly something that you want and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. Okay? So I have here the Fool. So there's a sense of freshness. So if you're watching this video right now, you're already in the mindset, right? You're already in the mindset. You know that there are challenges and you're ready to face them. So that's a bonus. That's a bonus right there. And not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people have that bonus. So you're fresh. You're like, okay, we know that there are going to be challenges. We're going to face them, and we're going to continue to move forward. I really like that for you. You're very hopeful. Again, a lot of yellow in this card. It really stands for hope, and yeah, you're going for it. You're not giving up on it. Now let's move on to the Temperance. The Temperance is trying to make something work. It's like, is it going to work? It's doing sort of a balancing act a little bit. It reminds me a lot of the Two of Pentacles, but it's more like creating a formula. It's more like creating the correct formula in order to succeed. That's one of the ways of looking at Temperance, okay? And that's what it really feels like here. From who you used to be to who you want to be, what are the steps that you need to take along the way? Okay, so in order to make the change that you want to make, to get to that beautiful place back there where all of the gold is, right? How do you get there? There's a long path ahead, and you have to wade through a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions that are going to be popping up, and you'll have to deal with those emotions. It may be emotions to do with the change that you have, and maybe that challenge is not going to be easy. It's going to play with your emotions. Okay. The Two of Cups, really talking about getting help. Some other person who may be helpful in your journey. Someone who may have gone through this before, who is giving you advice. It doesn't have to be in the real world, but just someone that you rely on to give you the advice that you need, or to help you through. Maybe even a challenge workshop. It could be a mastermind that you're in. It could be a Facebook group that you're involved with, where people are sharing ideas, and yeah, it is something where you're getting help from other people. And maybe even somebody in your own life. You tell them about the change that you're making, and they're offering to help in any way they can. So it could be in the real world, but I'm sensing that a lot of the stuff is about, like, not just finding one person, but finding groups of people. We have the King of Wands. And that is one of the cards that represents Leos, the masculine energy, and also of one who is a doer in a big sense. So whatever this change is, Okay, whatever this change is, whether it's like a one for physical health, or if it's one about your business or your relationships, I feel like it's either business or health, and I'm really feeling health. It's like health is like the biggest thing that's popping up. And there's a dedication to this that's really beautiful. And I really hope that many of my Leos will stick to this, because this is definitely, great health. Health has been the challenge of 2020 for many people, and to be able to like try to master your health in that way is just awesome. I would say. I think it's always a good plan. I mean, if you don't have your health, there's very little you can enjoy in the world. I know that from firsthand experience. So yeah, I see some changes, some bigger changes, very incredible changes. Something you're working on, something that you want and you've always wanted, and now you're just tired of waiting for the right moment, and you're going to make a change now. For some people, it's like cleaning out the garage, or trying to cure some, or trying to undo a negative habit. It's like undoing a habit. It's a mind shift and change. Like, I'm not going to do that anymore. We're going to figure out ways to quit, right? It could be quitting smoking. It's that's popping up too. It's something to do with changing an old habit and adopting new habits. So now let's move to the Magician. Okay, so the Magician really talks about manifestation. And it's very interesting that the card was originally upside down, and I'll tell you why. And I don't feel as if that is the way the card was supposed to remain. The Magician reverse, to me, really, in this reading, is really telling me about the lack of willpower. Okay? And there's a lot of people that will be facing that lack of willpower, and they may even give in for like a day or two. They may lose the battle one weekend, right? That doesn't mean that you've lost the war. Okay? You haven't lost the war just because you ate a cookie, or you smoked one time, or you went somewhere and you did something that you weren't supposed to do, right? Instead of working, you decided you were going to play video games. Like, yeah, it's not going to be the end of the world. And I put the Magician upright, and it felt right, okay? Because Leos are very strong. They are very strong, and they can be very stubborn. Now, this is a big decision that you're making. This is a decision that you've decided that you are going to do, and nothing can stop that if you put your mind to it. Okay, so put your mind to it. Be, stick to it, whatever it is, because you know that it's for a higher good or a better outcome for you to stick to this one particular thing. And it's hard, and look, Judgment Day, when Judgment Day comes, it could be about just about anything that you know within yourself that is a habit that you want to break, and or something that has been conditioned that you want to change. And there's going to be temptation. It's going to be hard. There's going to be challenges. And the only thing that will get you through that is to have that beautiful Leo stubbornness. And this is, we're stubborn when we get, once we decide something, it's solid. So it's hard to turn back on our promises that we make to ourselves. So that is something to keep in mind here. That is something to keep in mind here. Right. In the beginning, there's, okay, so just before we get into that, just look at all of the yellow of hope, okay? All these cards show up in other readings, but it's really calling out to me how much hope there is in this spread, okay? So you're building a foundation for this thing that you're doing. You're building a foundation. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's a commitment that you're putting, that you're doing here. You're committing yourself to this idea. And you're going to, look, again, you're going to fall some days, but again, if you lose the battle for a weekend, that doesn't mean that you've lost the war of your entire life. You can feel that way, right? It can always feel like that. Oh my God, commitment. You're making the commitment. And I don't know if you're making the commitment because you're tired of being sick and tired, but it's time for the commitment to happen. Making the commitment, like, oh, I'm going to go gluten-free. Everybody's talking about gluten-free. I'm going to actually go gluten-free. Let's see how this works. Or I'm going to go dairy-free. Let's see how that works. I've never tried it before. This is really tough because everything I love has dairy in it. And, it's that kind of thing. It's a small, it seems very small, but it's also like changes that, is undoing and unraveling your reality almost. So everything will change, but and you're doing research too to find out more about this thing. Like, okay, well, if I make these changes, how will this benefit my life? How will this benefit my body? How will this change my relationships? How will this help me in the long run? Okay? Ace of Swords. More decisions. Okay? So, I'm so glad that the Magician was upright, because all of the cards that follow fall in line with the Magician being upright. Okay? Whatever the temptation is to again, once you've made up your mind, the temptation is going to always be there, and you're going to have to fight against that temptation. That's the conflict here. It's temptation. It's going back to the old ways, the old habits, and changing them to new ones. And you're only doing this because we're going to move on to the star. You have dreams of how you want to see your life and your future. And maybe sometimes they're romantic, maybe they're fantasy, but you understand that there is a reality. You've seen other people achieve these goals, and there's no reason why Leos can't have, success in that area. There's no reason why Leos can't have those things. Okay? And not only is this about your dreams and your hopes, or a desire that you have, right? Because this is also desire. And again, there's hope. There's hope. There's hope. Lots of hope. Lots of hope. And this is what we need. This is what we need right now, is hope. So this is about the gears and messages that you're receiving. The little things that are happening outside of your world that is helping to make this happen. Like a show that comes on that you're kind of surprised, like, oh, this is actually part of the stuff that I'm doing, or something that I'd like to do. Or maybe, being inspired by a talk or a video or something. There's something in the outside world that's helping to move the hands of time for you. It's like showing you symbols in the real world of the things that you're desiring, and that you're desiring to change. Like, if you're like, it's about losing like 5 pounds, you're going to see magazines all of a sudden that are like weight loss, quick tips for, intermittent fasting, does it work? And all sorts of things that are going to be flashing in your vicinity to help you, like give you information, like bumping onto, if you're about trying to improve your health, and you might see like something, nine natural recipes to help deal with this kind of illness. And it's just like, okay, I'm not looking for a cure. I know that that's not going to be a cure or anything, but this is something, maybe I should look into this. Maybe I should, there's going to be little signs and symbols and things in the outside world to give you the cues, notes from angels that are just saying, hey, look, you've been wanting to do this. Here's the opportunity, and here's another little video about what you want to do. So it's quite intriguing when you think about that, how that happens. And maybe many of you have had that happen in the past, where you've walked to the store and then, oh, look, I've been looking at bridal gowns, and there's a bridal magazine right there. I've never seen the bridal magazine, but now I see it. It's just like things are going to start showing up for you. And they're there to help you as well. They're there to help you. Okay, this card really wants to come out. This is about remembering something from, well, actually there's two meanings on this. Okay, so the one meaning is remembering how things used to be a long time ago, whether it be like last year, or maybe it has been like since you were a child. It's about thinking about better times in the past. It's also maybe about your relationship to a child or children. Let me get a clarifier on that. Let's see, a clarifier on the Six of Cups. Okay. So what I'm really sensing, that whatever it is, it's about the sentimental reasons why you're doing this. There's something that you're doing that has a sentimental source. Okay? The source of it is very sentimental. Whether it's for some people, they're doing it for their children. For some people, they're doing it so they can enjoy the fruits of their labor in the future. It's about the past, but it is about also the future. It's about having that in the future. The reason why I say that is because guess who wanted to come out and play? This is talking about being the master of your own world. Being independent and truly like completely and totally in control. Not like a dictator or anything like that, but someone who really has their world together, right? That they are mastering all the elements of their own world. And it's about trying to feel like your best self, like live your best life, that kind of thing. It's the desire to do that. Ooh. And some Leos are ready to play, ready to win at all cost. Even if they have to say goodbye to a few people who may be encouraging them to do the opposite of their goals. It may be It may be cutting people out of your life that are like, hey, no, you should just eat more of these donuts here. And you're like, I told you that I was on a diet. Why are you purposefully giving me a donut? Like, please tell me how you're a friend of mine. Tell me how you're supportive. Right? It's that kind of thing. It's not about, being cruel to other people, but it's like making decisions for yourself and maybe walking away from some people who don't respect that or are not helping you. And then people don't exactly have to help you with everything, but they don't have to get in the way. They don't have to get in the way purposefully. So yeah, it's about making decisions. Like, if the plan is to drink less and you have a friend that always likes to drink, always, 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 you may be wanting to say, okay, well, I'm not going to hang out so much anymore with that friend because every time I do, we always empty the bottles. It may be that. It may be that. I'm throwing out scenarios that are popping in my mind, getting pictures of different scenarios. And so justice, okay? The right thing is going to be, if you follow the instructions the way they're supposed to be followed, and if you follow things the way they are, the way you want to have planned for them, the way they're supposed to be structured, if you follow the rules, you will get the benefit of the justice. But if you break the rules and you're always like, you're letting other people influence you and you're not being strong-headed and strong-minded about this whole thing, it won't be a success. I think that's not going to be an issue for Leos. Once we decide we're going to do something, we'll take lashes to the back in order to get it, in order to stick to our plan. I have to say that once we decide something, like, hey, there's nothing that can stop us from that stubbornness, and it's beautiful when it's applied properly, right? And then I'm going to bring to light one other thing about this Justice card, is that there's a lot of yellow in here. I look at the Justice card a lot, but I've never noticed how much yellow is in this card of hope. There's lots and lots of hope in the card, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's move on to the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is really about, I want to say in this particular thing, it's about time. Okay? It could take a while for you to do this, and it's going to take a lot of research. It's going to take a lot of studying. It's going to take a lot of know-how. It's going to take your dedication, and it's most of all, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. It's going to take time. But you have to be patient with yourself. Being patient is so important. And it's no mistake that this is underneath this one where the Temperance was. And another interpretation of Temperance is also patience. So, yeah, it's going to take time. It's going to take patience. And let's see, Emperor. Again, that stubborn energy I'm feeling again. That stubborn energy. Isn't that a beautiful lineup right here? Anyway, it's about stubborn energy and doing the right thing and like making sure it's all done properly. I mean, if you have to count calories, Leos are going to count calories. I mean, that's just it. That's how we're doing it now. Until we get this thing mastered, until we get this thing beat, right? And I'm using weight loss as an example. It's not exactly always the case, but again, if it's about, like, let's say something as simple as going gluten-free, it's like, looking at every label, understanding which items are gluten-free and which ones aren't, and pulling out the magnifying glass to see exactly what ingredients are in products at the grocery store. I mean, it's important for you this time. There's something about this that's very, you're taking matters into your own hands, and being, oh wow, look at this. And I'm going to end the reading with this one because she's beautiful. The Empress, to kind of say this decision that you've made, of all the decisions that you've had to make this year, this one will have the most lasting results, most fruitful, the one that is also imbued with the most success wrapped around it. Okay, is definitely going to bring you lots of growth and success, and it's for the greater good. The greater good. Again, a card with a lot of yellow in it for hope. And wow, this is a very good reading. Again, as I told you guys, it starts off very depressing and then it always turns around because my cards are trying to tell us and affirm the present and possibly the past. And it loves telling us about the past, but then it wants to tell you the story to get you to a better place. Okay, so let's do some angel answers to see if, yes, the angel answers cards. So let's see. These are always surprised. These always surprise me. They always surprise me. So, what messages do you have for dear Leos? What messages do you have for August 2020? We need an inspiring message from you, please. Sum up this reading. Oh, I've never had this. Well, since he was upside down, let's see. Be assertive. I've never had this one. Be assertive. That sounds wonderful. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of it right now. I'm going to read from the booklet that comes with the angel answers. It says, be assertive. The situation calls for you to take matters into your own hands. You must get clear on your personal feelings and then pursue the fulfillment of your desires with courage and self-confidence. Ask for what you need, without watering down your request in order to satisfy others. Remember that seeing to your own needs is nothing to apologize for. Set boundaries with those around you in order to create a safe and fair environment. Tailor your actions so that you can earn the respect from others you deserve, and then move forward. What? That was look, every time I do this it surprises me. Wow, that is like on the nose for this reading. Like, it couldn't have been a better match. Wow, that's incredible, Leo. So big changes can happen, but only if we really stick to them and make the commitment, and we also ask for help, but don't allow others to get in the way of the goals that we have. Again, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be people who are going to offer you cookies when they know that you're on a diet. Okay? Yeah, you know those people. They're just like, oh, okay, let's see if Leo's going to stick to their plan like they said. How good are they at their word? So, yeah, that's pretty incredible. I love the angel answers. I'm glad that I decided to start making it a part of my readings. It just seems to work every time, and I think it took me a little while before I actually bonded with these cards, but now it's a true bond, you know. Okay, so guys, I want to thank you so very much for watching, supporting, and subscribing. If you haven't, please consider doing so for more Leo intuitive tarot readings. Be sure to hit the bell icon to be the first to know when my next video gets posted. Many blessings to you, my awesome Leos. And remember, this channel is for you and you alone.